Hello and welcome to Live in the Solution. I'm your astrologer and tarot card reader, Mary Trimble, here with your readings for September the 16th through September the 22nd. And we have a very interesting celestial sky with 3 significant events, and I'll get into that later on the astrology section of your reading. Thank you guys. I had so many new subscribers last week. I'm so excited. Thank you. I really appreciate you all. If you're returning, thank you for your loyalty and your support. I really appreciate that. And if you're new, I hope you enjoy these readings and you'll come back. Now, these are general readings for the collective, guys. So, take what resonates and leave the rest. And don't forget, these are for your sun, moon, and rising. So check out the other videos because maybe your rising sign might make more sense to you. If you would like a more personal, tailored reading, click on this link or go to the Show More section below in the description box. If you're looking at this on a phone, it's a little arrow pointing downwards. If you press that, you can see all the information. All the links to the other videos will be below. The links to my Facebook group will be below. You should join that. Every 2 weeks I do a live feed in Facebook, and we look, it's fun, we look at how the it's either the new moon or the full moon is affecting you personally. Which area of your chart does it affect you? So join my Facebook group. The link is below. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And please don't forget to like, comment. I answer every comment. And subscribe if you haven't already. And share. My short-term goal is get to 10K subscribers. That would be amazing. So, I want to quickly say these readings come in 3 sections. The intro, which is this part, the astrological report, which is next, and then the tarot report, the tarot reading, sorry. And there are skip times to each section so that you can, if you're checking out some moon rising, you can go straight to the video if you want, so you don't have to watch the astrological or the intro again. And another way, guys, to support this channel is through Patreon. I want to thank my patrons. Thank you so much. The link to that will be below. And without further ado, let's go to the astrology section, shall we? Hello and welcome to the astrology section of your reading, and we have 3 significant events happening this week, and we have some minor events that I'm not going to go into, but the big news is that Saturn stations direct. It has been retrograde since April, so we are going to feel a shift forward. We're going to be able to see our path forward and a practical way of getting there. Now, Saturn is the Lord of time. He rules time. So we need to bring in patience because things that our goals take time. To get to where we want to go takes time and effort. So we need to allow that time and honor that time to get there. We have had time to prepare things in Virgo, and now it's time for us to propel forward. Now, Saturn is also the planet of lessons. So we need to remember, we need to look at what we've done in the past and learn from it, not repeat mistakes. We will, Saturn a lot of people freak out about Saturn and say, oh no, Saturn. But Saturn actually steers us in the right direction. So what we sometimes consider blocks and things that are stopping us from going forward, this is Saturn saying, no, don't go there. Turn around and go in this direction. It's going to serve you better. So it's about slowing down, right? But it's also about putting the effort and the work into it, because we can't get to where we're going without hard work. And Saturn is about, getting your elbow grease in there, rolling up your sleeves and doing the work to get to where you want to go. And it's in Capricorn, in its home sign of Capricorn. So this is the earth sign. It's manifesting, right? It's going to help us. It's going to put rules and structure in place so that we can get to our goals. This is about limiting, it's about economizing, if you will. So we really have to look and kind of trim the fat. What is not working for us? This, Saturn's about purging, getting rid of what's not working for us anymore, having the courage to let that go. When we let that go, we will go forward faster. Maybe not as fast as we want to. So we really do have to practice patience during this time and honor the sense of time. So this really is about putting effort into it. But this wonderful grounding energy and this direction of going forward is going to, and I also want to mention that Pluto, which has been traveling along with Saturn through the sign of Capricorn, is also slowing down and getting ready to go direct, which will happen at the end of the month or the beginning of next month. That's a whole other story, so I'll go into that later. But we're feeling the effects of that change, transformation, and Saturn is, organizing things for us to go forward and to reach our goals. And we'll be able to see where we're going. Finally, we can see ahead and in practical terms. But we have to put the work in, as I said before. Now, that happens on Wednesday the 18th. Excuse me. And on the, let me just look, on the 21st, we have Jupiter in a challenging aspect, what we call a square in astrology, to Neptune. Now, Jupiter is the planet of abundance, more, expansion, spirituality, adventure. And I'm just looking here at the chart. And Neptune is dreamy, it's visionary, it is spiritual, it is a connection with the ethereal realm and creative, right? So this contentious aspect between the two, between Jupiter and Neptune, well, on the negative side of each planet, right? Jupiter can be addiction. It can be bigger, better, more of something that doesn't work for us. It can be overindulgence, overdoing lots of things. And Neptune is the planet of illusion, right? And on the negative side, delusion, also addiction, and not seeing things in the light, overdoing something, being overly optimistic. Jupiter is optimism too. It's being very optimistic. So Neptune can accentuate that and not see things in realistic terms. Now, going back to Saturn, Saturn's very realistic, so it could help with balancing that out. But we really need to remember that in our psyche. We need to remember that we can go off on tangents. We can be distracted by Neptune. Neptune can be a distraction. I can sit here and I'm planning my day, and before I know it, it's 2 hours later and I haven't got up and done anything because I've been in my head, on this dream with Neptune. So sometimes when this happens, I put alarms on my phone. I have to do this, and I give myself a 2-hour notice of what I have to do. And then when the alarm goes off, I have to go, oh gosh, yeah, I've got to get up and do that. So sometimes we have to do that to bring us back in. But if we have that awareness in our psyche that we can be distracted and we can go off, and we have to kind of ask our question, ask a question of ourselves, okay, is this realistic? Because we have unrealistic expectations sometimes with Neptune, and especially with Neptune and Jupiter in this contentious kind of relationship. So it's something to be aware of. But on the other hand, you can really tap into creativity. You can, if you're a writer, if you're in the visual arts, whatever it is, or just to be creative, it's amazing for, optimistic, visionary goals to make those, and to do, write a novel, something fantastical and mystical. So it's really brilliant to tap into that energy, that source of energy while this is happening. Now, the next thing that is happening is, really it's not this week because this reading goes to the 22nd, but I'd be remiss not to mention that on Monday, the 23rd, the sun moves into Libra. It is the autumn equinox. So this is a huge shift in energy, and the sun is joining Mercury and Venus in Libra. So this, I'll talk about that next week, but I wanted you to know that. So also, happy birthday, Libra. Happy birthday. So we will discuss and talk about what's going on with that next week, because there are some other things going on. So yes, I want to also mention, where is it? I want to also mention at the same time, which I didn't mention as we were talking about it, at the same time that Saturn moves direct, it is in this beautiful trine with the moon in Taurus. Now, the moon in Taurus is in exaltation. It's it's expressing itself how it needs to express itself. It is creating security and helping Saturn. Saturn will help you see your way forward for security. It is a beautiful alignment between the moon and Saturn, so you can actually plan out and see what you need and what you want. And what will make you feel secure. And it's also a very nurturing energy. So it's really interesting that we have, I also want to mention before we go any further, that the Jupiter squaring Neptune can also bring in some fear of the future. And it can be unrealistic. It feels very real. So you can feel some anxiety. It's really important to meditate during this time. And also, and to remember that things aren't necessarily realistic. So it is about taking care of responsibilities, because Saturn's going to make sure that you take care of your responsibilities. It's going to be in our faces. We will need to take care of things that we've perhaps been putting on the back burner. But also is things that we need to take care of. So Saturn is showing us the way forward. And sometimes, especially with the Neptune and Jupiter connection, we will feel a little fearful and perhaps apprehensive about those responsibilities. But if we just get down and just do a little bit at a time and just take care of them, things will come out of this on top. Having taken care of our responsibilities, having lived up to our responsibilities. And that's us showing up for our lives. Okay, everyone. I wish you a wonderful, abundant week. And without further ado, let's go to your tarot card reading, shall we? Hello, Capricorn, and welcome to your reading for September the 16th through September the 22nd. And this is for Capricorn. What wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information can you give Capricorn for this coming week? 3 cards for Capricorn, please. 3 cards for Capricorn. 2 more cards. Oh, 1 more card for Capricorn. Wow, they're flying like crazy. There you go. There's the 3rd. Wow, darling, you have so many. Yes. Well, you have Saturn, your ruling planet, stationing direct in your house, in your sign, I mean. So it's exciting for you, Capricorn. You also have Pluto getting ready to to turn direct also. Whoa, intensity. Okay, these are clarifying cards for Capricorn. What wonderful blessings, guidance, gifts, and helpful information can you give Capricorn through these clarifying cards for this week? Please clarify. There it is. Oh, darling, yes, of course, that's coming up, of course. Please clarify. Check out your sun, moon, and rising, guys. There are so many crossovers here. And please clarify. There it is. Oh, your card came up for Capricorn. Oh, there's definitely check out your sun, moon, and rising. Okay, here's your cards. The first card out for you is the Page of Cups. Then you have I almost said the Knight of Death, the Death card. And then you have the Seven of Wands, clarified by the Four of Cups. Then you have the Three of Wands. Oh, is this the Three of Wands? Yes, it is. The Three of Wands. Clarified by your card, the Devil. Capricorn. Okay. The first card out for you is the Page of Cups. It's the message of love, darling. This is like somebody's coming in with a message for love. This could be that you're ready to move on to the next phase of your life too, which I'm kind of getting. Okay, so the Page of Wands, pages are messengers, but they're also indicators that you're ready to move on. Because they've been an apprentice to the, apprentice to the knight, and they've been in service to the king. And then at some point, they've learned all they can learn, and it's time to actually become a knight and go out and do the job and learn experientially. So this is, and the cups are emotional, right? So you're ready to emotionally move on, and you have the Death card clarifying it. So this is transformation. This is you. Self-growth. This is Pluto. Things you are transforming in a very intense way. You are becoming somebody different. You are really, it's almost like you've grown up. And when you're a kid, you say, what do I want to be when I grow up? Well, you are being what you're supposed to be, or you're actually turning into that. You're becoming what you are meant to be. With the Death card, it's death and rebirth, right? The old you is slothing off. You're purging the old you, and you're coming out like a cocoon. You're coming out of the cocoon like a butterfly that you're supposed to be, that beautiful butterfly. You've been a caterpillar, and now you're a butterfly. And the next card is the Seven of Wands, and this is about finding your power and not swaying from what you know in your heart is right. This is about standing your ground and standing up for what you know is right. Don't allow peers to pressure you to do something, or it could be a vote, or to do something that doesn't quite feel right. You watch those movies, right? And you see all these people that, this person wants to go home and wants to take care of things and do their homework, whatever it is in the movie, right? And their friends are going, go, come on. And you're like, and so they're like, oh, well, okay, I'll come. And you're in your head, you're like, don't go, that's trouble. It's that kind of thing. It's really about going with your gut feeling and knowing when not to do what is not in your heart. Don't do something just to please others. And look, you have the Four of Cups here. And the Four of Cups is about regret, right? It's about being in your head. It's about admonishing yourself. You should have done this. I should have done that. I should have done that. And so you're in the past, and you're like, oh God, I shouldn't have done this. I should have done that. And while you're doing that, right, you're missing an opportunity. You're being offered something here. This could be an opportunity for self-growth. Don't don't criticize yourself is what I'm getting. Don't admonish yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Look, we have to learn from the past. Definitely. It's all about learning from the past. And Saturn's probably going to show us stuff that we have to learn from so we can move forward, so we don't make the same mistake. The problem is when the Four of Cups comes in, you are in it. Instead of learning from it, you are beating yourself down for making that mistake. And that's not how we get anything done. We can move forward when we look at the mistake, acknowledge we made it, and say, God, what can I do differently next time? I'm not going to do that next time because that didn't work out. When you're looking at it in a logical way, you're not emotionally tied to it, right? So you are being asked to look at this in a logical way and learn from it. You can't learn from it if you're beating yourself up, because you're too busy beating yourself up to get the lesson, right? So be aware of that this week, and take the opportunity to grow and to learn so that you can move forward. Be empowered, and then you have the Three of Wands, and the Three of Wands is about seeing an optimistic future, right? Long-term future. This is Jupiter. This represents Jupiter. It's about seeing this optimistic, it's about making long-term optimistic plans, right? Because he's on the corner, he's watching his ship come in, he's just waiting for them to unload all those riches. If you were at the dock waiting to unload all your riches, knowing your ship was in, you too would make long-term optimistic plans without a doubt. You'd be like, okay, in 5 years I'm going to do this, in 10 years I'm going to have a fleet coming in 10 years. You're going to make those long-term optimistic plans. Now, clarifying this is your card. Capricorn. This is manifesting, right? The devil represents the material world. But on the shadow side of that is we can be tied and enslaved to that material world. We can overwork, right? Neptune and Jupiter is involved. So yes, we're ambitious and we're optimistic, and we're kind of maybe overly optimistic, and we may overdo something. We may work too hard and not have enough. We're a slave to building more and more wealth. At what cost? A cost to ourselves, to our family? Are we ignoring our family? We're a slave to creating more material things. When this card comes in, it's like, back off a bit. Your family is important. Give time there. Give time to spirit, to God, to your faith. Be spiritually guided, right? Jupiter's spiritual too. So don't be enslaved to the material. Don't I need. Ask yourself, do I really need that? I want. It's like greed, Don't allow this to take over. Don't be enslaved to creating more and more wealth. Yes, have long-term optimistic plans, but also include your family in that. Family time, me time, not just working too hard. Definitely work, but not over the top. You have to just be careful not to overdo everything. Capricorn, thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to like this video, share it on, with your friends, family, neighbors, co-workers, social media. Comment. I always answer every comment. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Mwah! I love you all, and I'll see you next week.